We begin with breaking news in New York City, where a grand jury has reportedly declined to indict an officer in the death of Eric Garner. Garner died in July from a police chokehold after a heated altercation with police after he was reportedly found illegally selling tobacco. That video went viral last summer, particularly because of Garner's last words to the police, which were, "I can't breathe." Take a look.
And within all that time, the guy was still around his neck.
Put your hand behind your back. I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
The death of Garner, who was black, incited tensions between the NYPD and minority communities at the time. And now that tension is expected to resurface after last week's riots in Ferguson and across the country over a grand jury decision not to indict Officer Darren Wilson in the shooting death of Michael Brown. Joining me with the very latest in this case is RT's Alexey Yaroshevsky from New York. Alexey, talk to me about this case. What exactly did the grand jury have to determine in order to make this decision?
Well, initially, the grand jury had to determine whether the officer had the right to use force against Eric Garner, whether Eric Garner actually threatened the life of this police officer in any way, and that's why the officer had to use a chokehold, which in fact has been banned by the NYPD guidelines since 1993. And there's very little details coming out from the grand jury decision. Only just literally 10 minutes ago, the Staten Island district attorney came out with a short statement saying that the grand jury ruled that there was no reasonable cause to indict the police officer in the Eric Garner case. But that is as far as we know, which is a difference to the Ferguson situation, where most of the evidence supporting the claims that Officer Darren Wilson would not be indicted was published straight after the decision. This time, there's nothing like that. We're still pretty much in the dark as to why this decision has been made, and that is despite the clear-cut evidence of police using force against Eric Garner, using the chokehold, even despite that the police itself says that there was a different way used against Eric Garner to subdue him. It was not a chokehold, but some of the footage of the video, which has been viral since July 17th, when the incident happened at Staten Island, clearly suggests that it was a chokehold which led to the death of Eric Garner.
And as you mentioned, this chokehold has been banned. It's not allowed as a way to subdue someone, but it's not considered a crime. Could that have been a reason why the grand jury came down on the side of the officer?
Well, that may have been the case. We are, of course, waiting for the details as to why this decision has been made. But let me just give you some statistics on the matter of chokehold. Indeed, it has been forbidden by the NYPD guidelines since 1993, but that does not mean it's not happening in the streets of New York. Now, just earlier this year, the Civilian Complaint Review Board came up with the research suggesting that this year alone, during 2014, the number of chokehold cases, some of them, in fact, unreported by the police, have surged almost twofold. If in 2001, every fourth incident of detaining a person in the streets of New York was about using a chokehold, this year there was at least 8 cases in every 100 incidents like that in the streets of New York. And as it stands right now, there are 150 unreported chokehold cases, and the total number this year of chokeholds used by the police force in New York stands at a little more than 1,100. So that is pretty much the answer to your question. It is banned by the NYPD, but it's not outlawed. And we've heard just a few weeks ago, we reported on that story, that one of the councilmen in Queens was fighting to completely outlaw the chokehold among the officers of NYPD. But we heard about the staunch opposition by the New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, who said that the current regulations for New York policemen is enough, and only their attitude, only their rules of engagement needs to be revised, but not the chokehold and not anything else.
All right, RT correspondent Alexey Yaroshevsky from our New York studio. Thank you.